Welcome to Go Home Heat, a wrestling podcast. All right, guys, here we go. We are going to talk some sports entertainment tonight.
Woo!
We have Ray, Justin, and KP here to get into this. We start out with Raw. Seth Rollins begins a Monday Night Messiah message to the world with Austin Theory and Buddy Murphy seated
standing
as congregation.
Oh, when they seated? Oh, yeah, they were the congregation.
He has a tribute to Ray.
That's a good name for their team.
What?
The congregation.
Dude.
You just pulled that out. That's pretty good.
That is good. I'm clever.
Or the Apostles.
The Apostles would be great, too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and so anyway, Rey Mysterio winds up being talked about here in glowing terms. Seth is willing to induct Rey into the Hall of Fame.
I love this so much.
Once he retires, which is now, according to Seth. Alistair jumps Seth because he's mad, and we wind up
let's talk about the video package we had here.
Go ahead.
The great moments of Rey Mysterio's career, and then ending it with him getting his eye jobbed out by Seth Rollins. Seth was killing it, dude.
Yeah.
Seth was he's so smart. I really believe this, but I don't really believe this.
Right.
I feel like Seth needs to bring back the
At some point,
he needs to bring back Vicky Guerrero?
At some point, he needs to bring back that laugh.
His Vicky Guerrero laugh? Yes.
Yeah, he does have a Vicky Guerrero laugh.
He will. Something will be funny eventually. He hadn't had anything go right lately. But, he winds up
in a match with Alistair.
And it's fantastic, right?
It is. It was excellent, dude. Alistair Black is so good. And Seth Rollins, man, everybody knows he's one of the best workers in the world. It must be cool for both of them to be in the ring with somebody who's always in the right place at the right time. They were just so everything worked, dude. Everything. Yeah. From like the low super kick that made Alistair stand up and perfectly fall into place for the Michinoku driver.
Right.
It was just they were both in the right position at all moments for each move, and it made the whole thing flow so much cleaner.
Absolutely. And then Carrillo winds up coming down because there's an outside of the ring segment there, and where Buddy and Theory may jump Alistair, and Seth stops it because there's not going to be any
shenanigans.
Mayhem.
No.
Even though he had called for them to jump Alistair when it was just 2-on-1 scenario. That turned into eventually, because Seth winds up getting caught. There is a scenario where Carrillo and them wind up fighting outside the ring a little bit later in the next segment. Seth gets caught in a roll-up at the end. We think Seth's going to get the roll-up because Alistair is
distracted by Austin Theory and Murphy on the ring ropes,
right,
or on the apron, and then Carrillo comes over and it distracts him, and then Seth hits the roll up on him, but Alistair reverses it into a classic where Fisherman, he had the arm and leg secured, he had to post it up on the shoulders. Mm-hmm. It was just well done, well timed.
Right,
looked like it could get the pin.
Does get the pin. And then, of course, Seth has his crew jump him, and they both get stomps for their troubles. And
Alistair gets the watch what I'm going to do to your friend treatment. So I think that pushes him again. I think this was good for Alistair. I thought it was, it doesn't hurt Seth at all.
Great for the program. You have Carrillo in a scenario where he's probably Carrillo in a scenario where he's probably going to wind up getting to have matches with Theory and Buddy again, which is good for him.
Yes,
it gives him a chance to shine in what he does best, which is wrestle. And the clear message here is don't be a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Billy, don't be a hero.
Well, and I think if they really want to give it, they've been playing Alistair's character as the classic hero, which is not really his character, but they write in trope, so they can't really. Until they get a good reason to give him a little bit of freedom, they're not going to. But if they really wanted to, Alistair should come back, and he's even got it tattooed on his knuckles. He's got anti-hero tattooed on his knuckles. So he should come back and jump Theory behind the scenes and jump Murphy. Mm-hmm. And it's you made a mistake. You got one part of it right.
He needs to quit.
But I don't play like that.
Yes, it needs to quit being I'm coming
directly straight forward at you.
Correct. It doesn't have to be the old classic style of warfare. It can be more of a guerrilla tactic, right? Okay, return to the Raw talk. Which is, they did wind up doing that after Raw. And the Seth part was really funny because he went in there and just shmugged up with Joe, which was great. Anyway, HBK gets interviewed because we have the greatest wrestling match ever. And HBK takes the time to put himself over here.
Well he should. Because you brought him in there to put over a match that legitimately the best match both of those dudes ever had probably was against Shawn Michaels at some point.
Yeah, right. He names like 4 matches that aren't even his best matches.
Yes, they're still some better than.
If we're going to talk about my greatest matches, we'll be here all day. So
yes, let's talk about what these guys may pull off once.
And he picks Edge, and I almost think that was tongue-in-cheek because I'm almost like, if Edge wins this match, there's no way it's the greatest match ever.
Well, and
therefore, Edge
well, too,
will win.
he's the babyface representative.
Right.
They had Ric Flair last week. He had to pick the
Orton, right?
Which is legitimately the right answer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love Edge, but if we're talking, and I loved Orton's whole thing that his promo tonight was so perfect for him.
Right.
It was just calling out his character.
We'll go ahead and talk about it.
It was so good because he sat there and he said, you know what? You're right. I do dial it in. I do show up and just do something. And you know what? Ric Flair still says I'm the best guy to ever lace up a pair of boots.
Right.
That's what pisses you off.
Yeah.
It pisses you off that on your best day, you may come up to me when I phone it in.
Right.
My
day is your best day.
Yes. Exactly, dude.
Right.
It's so true. It's not.
Not just for Edge.
No, it's for everybody else in the company, just about.
Yeah, there's a handful of guys that are on his level.
Yeah,
and they're all main events.
Yes.
And the only reason why Randy hasn't been the main event for the last 15 years is because sometimes he doesn't feel like being the main event.
Yeah,
he's not willing to work that hard now for whatever reason. Okay, Lana and MVP is next. Lana says that MVP is using Bobby to revive his washed up career, and Bobby says, well, that makes 2 of us.
Well, he says that's a total lie, but even if it was true, that'd make 2 of us, wouldn't it? Oh, he's so good. He is shining in this role, dude. He is the I love
and
it.
Lana plays the you mentioned it before, Lana plays the Vicky Guerrero role too.
Yes, she does.
She does it very well.
Yes, she does.
Okay, Apollo is the happy-go-lucky champ, and he is going to invite Kevin Owens because Kevin Owens deserves it, by golly.
Can I just point out
that
Apollo very much needs a manager if he is going to be successful for any length of time?
The only way I would say he doesn't need a manager is if you want to leave him in this role as your wrestling belt champ, and you allow him to continue to be golly gee, come on out, and he wrestles another good wrestler.
Yes.
Golly gee, come on out, and he wrestles another.
Yes.
But if you ever want him to do more than this, he just, at this point, he's had a mic off and on for a lot of years, and people always go, I don't understand why Apollo doesn't get pushed. Well, yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
You do. He grabs the mic, and you remember.
Yeah, immediately.
Right, and he's very good, and I'm glad he's getting this push, but come on, man.
Yeah, and it doesn't help when they put you in the ring with Kevin Owens. He's one of the best talkers in the whole freaking business.
Right, and Kevin does great here, and he says, I think this is a pity party you're throwing me here, but
if it's about respect.
But your title reign's going to be short.
I feel bad about it, though.
Yeah, but then they get into a great match, and it's good early.
There was a little tease of Apollo going heel there for a second because the whole, I think he faked the leg injury.
Right.
Yeah, of course he faked the leg injury, but I think he in the promo, in the production of the show, as the character faked the leg injury to sucker him in, which is not a good guy maneuver.
Then Zelina Andrade Angle attack, and we wind up with a tag match.
Kurt Angle attacked, or did Angel Garza?
Angel Garza attack. The tag match: KO and Apollo versus Angel Garza and Andrade. The bad guys cheat.
Still don't win, do they?
No.
Oh.
Apollo hits the cruise control for the win. Yes, you liked it.
This match was pretty good.
It was.
Yeah.
You can't put those 4 dudes in the ring together and have a bad match, dude. I'm telling you.
But I just...
it was kind of a throwaway.
The funny thing is, though, you have twin heels the heels on multiple occasions do the distract thing where they're going to try to win in that way. And both the Seth match and this match, the heels distract and it doesn't get them to win, which is an interesting thing. Asuka interview, I have no idea what she said. It was great.
Yes.
Asuka's better than Charlotte. She said it. Empress never bows down to anybody. Now, let's go bowling. Heck yeah.
For soup.
We're freaking bowling. This was whatever. What did you think?
I think it's been going on for as long as what's his name with his spider.
Yes.
Eric.
So you have the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders are doing their I can do anything you can do better, or you can do anything I can do anything you can do better.
It's a Mr. Perfect gimmick from the 80s
with two people,
with
right.
two teams.
Right, and it's whatever. I'm not gonna.
It's okay at times, but again,
it's had its moments. Right.
Yeah, but
It shouldn't really be there.
it shouldn't be going this long.
But it did set up this. Byron Saxon, Joe, you and I should go bowling. Joe, no, we shouldn't. Boom, that's it.
That's it. Joe, Samoa Joe, on the mic is so good.
A true revelation.
Man.
Okay. Now, Nikki Cross versus Billie Kay is next. And Billie Kay somehow manages to win in a match that she has no right winning. I like Billie Kay as a personality. She needs a lot of work.
Yes.
In the ring. It's obvious that Peyton Royce is the Marty Jannetty in this team.
Wow. Wow. Burned.
That is a Johnny Stringer shoot.
Oh, Johnny Swinger?
Yeah, because Johnny Swinger said that...
who did he say was the Marty Jannetty?
That Willie Mack was the Marty Jannetty
in
their tag team. No, he was the Marty Jannetty.
He said, I'm the Shawn Michaels. No, wait. He said that Willie Mack was the Shawn Michaels.
And he was the Wow.
Right, because, of course, back when Johnny Swinger was in his prime, everybody thought Marty was going to be the breakout star.
Yes.
So he never evolved from that.
No.
Okay, that's an Impact Wrestling shoot thing. Anyway, okay, so she winds up winning, which is great. Rey Mysterio has an interview. He's coming back from injury at some point.
He has a mask with the eye patch in it.
Correct. It looks somewhat reptilian.
Yes, I liked it.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I think the main takeaway here, other than that he's in doubt as to whether or not he's going to come back, whatever, is that the son, Eddie Guerrero Jr., is looking to maybe avenge this.
Yes. An eye for an eye. He should not have talked in the beginning. I thought he was terrible right at the start. Mm-hmm. But if they'd just had him come in and sit down and look pissed for a while and then deliver the eye for an eye line and walk out, it would have been better. He really sold that.
When the dad left,
that was
he kind of seemed more comfortable and got into the stride there of it, right?
Yeah.
And that went well. I think it was after the show on Talking Raw or whatever that is. Seth mentioned that maybe somewhere this week, Seth kind of teased that maybe Dominic, who is Ray's son, allegedly, might need guidance.
I think that is the perfect heel turn. I've seen a couple people hint that online, and I think it is very Greek. Anytime you go with Greek, I mean, kind of tragedy and betrayal.
It should be the closest to you.
And it works. It tells a story.
Right.
That story's there's a reason that you tell that story over and over, and you've got an opportunity to tell it. The son, the unloyal son, who goes with the winner.
Nia Jax's promo is up next. These two women are not who they say they are.
But when you don't understand them, then you can't really tell.
Kairi Sane is two-faced, and you will see when I split her head open in 2 minutes.
Is that what she said? Because that's prophetic.
No, that is not what she said.
Prophetic.
But that is where we eventually got to. R-Truth steals the title from Gronk in his yard.
I didn't even know that this belt was still a thing.
It is not only a thing, it is back to a wrestler that
It's back to the greatest champion of our lifetime.
Definitely the greatest 24/7 champion.
Of all time.
Yes. Kairi versus Nia, and this lit up the internet a little bit. Pretty good little match until Nia throws her face first into the steel steps, terrifying all of the wrestlers that are standing ringside.
Yeah.
Which, when you terrify the wrestlers,
Yes.
They're like, I'm gonna have to wrestle
she's
that
straight.
girl one day.
And I noticed in a match later, a couple of wrestlers did the spots where you throw people into these steps are not that uncommon.
Yeah.
And you always grab them by the back of the head and kind of turn their head away from the steps as you push them.
Yeah, you put a hook on it. You hook them over so their back throws
helping
into
them to go back first into it.
That was not Giant
Nia
Nice.
did not do that. She
No.
pushed her face first into.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I think
She sidearmed her head into it.
What's your favorite part of it?
favorite part of what?
Of that segment, the Dark Side of the Ring episode?
Oh, yeah.
I especially loved it when it showed the clip of Nia Jax, the deep cut special recording of her knocking out Kyrie during a segment. That was great.
Poor Kyrie.
Supposedly, Dark Side of the Ring, if you do not know, is a series of documentaries that point out bad things that happen in pro wrestling, and
like Nia Jax's career.
The joke online is that it will be, they could actually it
could be a multi-part special. Be like the Undertaker's last ride. Nia Jax Dark Side.
They could go from Total Divas, Total Bellas, Total Divas, Nia Jax Dark Side of the Ring.
Yes.
Every week we cut to her.
a total Divas Dark Side of the Ring. A Total Bella's Dark Side of the Ring.
All these little wrestlers begging her not to hurt them, and her
Please,
just going
Lord,
out there
no.
and just killing them every week.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Anyway, hopefully, Kyrie lost. Asuka comes out.
A lot
and
of
stops
blood?
the beating. Yes. Kyrie lost a lot of blood, but survived, so that's good. Big leg drop. 1, 2, 3. I do kind of like that Nia, the way she wrestles, does the big leg drop as a finish, because it reminds me of somebody else that was a great wrestler.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing. She picked a great.
Randy Orton's backstage segment, you've already talked about. It was great. Charlotte does the bow down promo again. It's all Charlotte all the time. Then Asuka comes out and they have a fantastic
Spectacular
wrestling
match. Until once again, Nia Jax shows up to ruin everybody's day.
There was a segment where Charlotte tries the natural selection and she purposely misses low in order to give Asuka the armbar.
Yes.
And Asuka puts the armbar on in a way that allows Charlotte to pick her up. Then that's done in a way that allows Asuka. Dude, they were so giving of one another.
Yeah.
Leading the other person.
It's the same thing we talked about with Alistair and Seth, man. They were just so in sync that each move put the other guy in the right, or the girl in this case, in the right position to take advantage of, to keep the momentum, to keep the flow of the match going, so it doesn't look so stilted.
So much more than even just saying high level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like you talk about all the time. Two people that know how to wrestle.
Yeah.
Like as in like amateur wrestling.
Yes.
They get into, or MMA people, they get in there and they can hand each other the next move.
Yeah.
These guys are.
They know all the common.
Asuka's able to do that in both wrestling and.
Yes, the
MMA.
grappling.
And Charlotte and Seth.
Charlotte's an amateur wrestler.
Alistair.
Yeah.
But Charlotte and Seth are both been around long enough that they can pick up on those. Like Shawn Michaels could get in there with Kurt Angle
and wrestle.
He could wrestle, even though Shawn would say, I only know like 4 moves, but he could see and he's good enough. He could go, okay, he gave me this arm. There's a reason for that. I can do arm bar. He gave me this leg. I can do.
And when you get to
I know what it looks like when he puts my leg in it.
Yeah. And when you get to see people like from the other week, Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle go, where they know the common defenses for like how do you get out of an arm? How do you get out of an arm bar?
Right.
I know 2 or 3 little slick tricks to get out of an arm bar that I probably couldn't pull in a real jiu-jitsu match, or I might, but it's a lot easier if the other guy will lean the right direction for me, and I can hit this little slick transition, and then he knows the next transition. And you saw that with Alistair and Seth, and you saw it with Charlotte and Asuka. That was really good.
Absolutely. Nia ruins everything, like you said. And Asuka winds up
counted out,
and
then
which is poppycock, but whatever. Then Lana is not allowed ringside for Bobby's match, but maybe she'll come out for MVPs, and we have MVP versus Drew McIntyre. which is exactly what we needed and didn't know we needed.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's going to need help here. He gets it. It's not anywhere near enough. After the pin, Lashley puts Drew in a full Nelson.
And they cut the show really quick.
Yeah, somehow it went a little longer than they wanted.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it had to do with Nia.
Yeah, I blame her.
I'm going to blame her if we're going to start blaming people.
Yes.
Just blame her for everything
Yes.
wrong with wrestling.
I love that Lashley's using the full Nelson right now. I feel like
Because he's the only one to beat the Master's Lock.
Yeah, very good
there's that
callback.
callback, and there's also just it looks vicious.
I don't even know
when he
if
does
it-
Well,
I
his body is built to
I don't
perform
even
that
know
maneuver.
if he's
Right.
purposefully. I think he's just like, there was a move that a guy that had my gimmick once did.
Yeah.
The other thing is too, when I watch all this, I think, why couldn't they have figured this out for Bobby with MVP before? But maybe MVP wasn't even in the company yet.
I don't think
But this
MVP
was,
was.
we totally did not need the Lana. This all could be going on without her.
No,
We
she
didn't
was
have to go
never what
through
we
that.
needed for this.
But
Bobby Lashley is a monster, and he should have somebody who represents him who puts him out there. You know, MVP, man, it's got a lot of Paul Heyman going.
well, also too, exactly. Paul Heyman makes Brock Lesnar a bigger event, even though
Yes.
Brock's a big event on its own. Having a manager that is your manager because he wants to put himself over is one thing.
Yeah.
Having somebody that's empowering his client constantly.
Yes.
That's the beautiful thing.
That's
That's
the
what
one.
we're getting right here.
Uh-huh.
Constantly. Okay, we're going to move on to NXT. Good show. NXT, Candice LeRae versus Mia Yim is how we start this thing off. And okay, I'll just say this. I would have preferred a match, but this winds up being a lot, but it's fine. It's a little overbooked for my taste, but it's a go-home show, and they're wanting to show you a lot. So
They're wanting to put over that Johnny Gargano was dangerous to Keith Lee.
yeah, they have a pretty good little match. Then they wind up outside of the ring.
Candice LeRae makes Mia Yim look pretty good, actually.
She does. And then when they get outside the ring, Tegan Knox comes to help. Dakota Kai comes out to help. Raquel Gonzalez, Shotzi. You get a little mayhem. Johnny comes out. Keith Lee comes out. Johnny kind of swings the momentum there for a second, in which this turns into a tag team match, which I didn't realize was a tag team match because they didn't tag in for so long. Again, though, LeRae and Yim do well.
I
with
don't
each
know.
other.
I don't think I don't think they ever tagged in the men.
Well,
I think he jumped him, but I don't think he was ever officially tagged in.
okay, because eventually you wind up with Keith Lee about to powerbomb Johnny, and Johnny does because Johnny's in plain clothes,
Yes.
and he does a really good job of slickly dropping his keys on the ground, grabbing them before he gets powerbombed so he can.
Job him in the eye, which is a great tactic, and I fully endorse that move. That's the way you do it.
Right, and so Keith Lee gets.
How tough are your eyeballs, Keith Lee? Bam!
And so Keith Lee gets hurt on the distraction. Yim gets pinned. They head for the heels head for higher ground. We're set up for some.
Well, and Johnny Gargano, like, Keith Lee's like leaning out of the ring, like, come back, and he kind of leans over and puts his hand down, and Johnny Gargano kicks the ring steps real quick and slams his hand in the ring step between the.
Right. So now you have two kind of equalizers for the match coming up this weekend.
I'm one-eyed and one-handed.
Right. Okay.
Eyes are dangerous.
I still don't think in that
WWE
match.
right now.
We'll try to talk about the matches coming up as we go. I still don't think in the match this weekend you get, which we have in your house on Sunday. I don't think Keith Lee loses unless Velveteen Dream is going to lose.
Yes.
Because if Keith Lee loses, he's got a hurt hand. They've given him an excuse to. Then you can go. He can lose and go get Adam Cole's belt.
Yes, that can be. And if Velveteen, it depends on who's going up. If Velveteen's going up, he's going to lose. Is my opinion. If he loses the match against Cole, that means he's going up. I think you're right. Keith Lee losing, he's moving up to the next belt.
Right. Correct. Okay, so they do a Dream video thing with Cole, and it was fine.
Dream humping a stop sign.
Interesting choice with his month or two, but Isaiah
Riding
Scott
roller
versus
skates. I loved
Tony.
him.
I did like the roller skate.
Did you
thing.
see the Prince thing he did with the Prince? He turned into Prince in the mirror.
Yes, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I can't remember what did he do? Mirror. I can't remember how he did it, but it was great. He did morph into Prince, which was awesome. Isaiah Scott versus Tony Nese was very good. I actually watched this match like twice. It was really good. Jack Gallagher winds up coming out for the distraction, but again, the distraction does not come up with a win.
It's been a theme.
It has been, which is good because for years it's been the other way around.
Every time. You got to break it up, folks, so that I have some back and forth disbelief.
And we're uniting Tony Nese and Gallagher as an issue for people to deal with, even though Nese lost. And then Scott needs some wins.
Dude, he's great.
He is, and so is Nese. Undisputed Era, Breezango, Lorcan, and Birch.
I loved Breezango coming back.
As astronauts? Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. Another thing, man. Okay, this is what struck me when I was watching this. I rewound this and watched it again. And then I watched it again later. Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, Oni Lorcan, Danny Burch, Fandango, and Tyler Breeze.
Mm-hmm.
That is fantastic wrestling.
That's a lot of workers.
I don't think there were a better group of wrestlers
there was not
in
a
the
weak
ring together this week.
There's not a weak point in that group.
Fandango, you would think, is the worst, and he's so much better than.
God, he's gotten so much better than he used to be. He used to not be good. No,
Right.
he has gotten way better.
Well, he's hanging out with Tyler Breeze.
Yeah,
All
he's
the time.
worked his game.
Yeah, Bobby Fish is. Dude, these guys are great.
Roderick Strong, dude, come on, man.
Dude, this is so good. This match was so good. And again, it feels like it's a number one contenders match, but it feels like they're trying to stall because they got 6 guys wrestling on.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just they bang it out, and it's fantastic. And
then what's their name?
Bivens
wait,
and his
no,
monsters.
Yeah, but the other team
Imperium
comes out first, and then Bivens and the 2 giant Sikh dudes come out who are.
I don't know their name, but
I don't know
they're monsters.
They're big, and I hope that first jump I saw, they were told to be plotting. I want to see them go in the ring because I watched them the first time. They weren't great Khali bad, but they were pretty bad.
But every other group of wrestlers
out there
is great.
And those dudes' look is spectacular. I want them to be good. Right. I love the look.
Well, and 2, if you put them in the ring with any of these other teams, it will be hard for them to look bad.
Yeah.
Because all those other guys can work.
Yes.
Okay, and so we wind up, now the number one contenders, Fandango hits a guillotine leg drop, and I love that move. I realize why people don't do it much, because it can't be good for the hips and spine, but he finishes it off with that, and then we're moving on to them coming up in the near future against Imperium.
Who
would you think goes over there? Imperium, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. Alea versus Santana Garrett. Alea, whatever they want to call her, is Robert Stone's new client. He's struggling, and that's kind of the undercurrent of this match. Santana Garrett never gets to win. They have a pretty good little match. And Garrett goes over, Alea runs away, and you're kind of telling the secondary story with
Robert Stone's falling apart.
Right. And it'll be interesting to see because maybe they're going to sign somebody and bring somebody in with it. Okay. Cameron Grimes versus Bronson Reed. This very short match. I'm not even really sure why this is here, but it was fine. I like Bronson Reed. It's just he didn't get to do much. And then Grimes hits the cave-in, which is a standing double stomp to the chest, which is pretty impressive. I like the move.
But then
he sees Cameron Cross and gets out of there fast because somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross. And what's the name of that?
Saito Suplex?
Saito Suplex.
Doomsday Saito.
Yeah, and it was vicious. And obviously when you do a move like that to a gentleman as large as Bronson Reed, it looks good. And we've set up now, they'll do a segment here in a little bit where you have Ciampa versus Karrion Kross, and there's no way Karrion Kross can lose, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't see why you would make him lose. That's
right. It doesn't hurt Ciampa.
No, Ciampa. And again, I think this may be a show about several people who may be moving up to the next level.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross might beat Ciampa, and Ciampa might show up in a week or two on Raw.
Ciampa would be an interesting addition to any of those rosters.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're going to utilize a secondary title as a wrestler's title. Because he and Daniel Bryan...
Tommaso Ciampa, Daniel Bryan is something I need to see.
Or Apollo.
Or... I like him on SmackDown, I think, better. I think he's got more potential over there. Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, all these dudes around.
Raw's a little more of the fight for Drew's belt is a bigger deal.
Yes.
To me, it's almost like on SmackDown, the Intercontinental title seems like a more important, which could be the effective power of the tournament, but either way.
And tournaments rule.
Yep.
I will always be a tournament fan. And I like the WWE's had numerous tournaments in the last few months. It's such a good plot device.
Right. Drake promo. This is going to be the best day ever, the worst day ever. I'm going to eat catering and eat things I never eat, which I do too when today's going to be a great day.
I'm going to say that Drake, I don't know, dude. He was wired for sound, buddy.
Yeah. Now, Drake versus El Hijo del Fantasmo.
We're going to call him Fanta.
Fantasmo.
Call him Fanta.
And, dude, what a match.
It was great, wasn't it?
What a match. And Fantasmo did not wrestle in a luchadorian style, really. He was more plotting and more, but he was supposed to be because he was hurting Drake.
Yes.
And he constantly was working Drake's lower back, and Drake was
screaming.
He's diminutive, and he is getting bludgeoned, and it is working so well. And then you have these masked men come out to attack Fantasmo, and Drake dives into him. He starts fighting them, and Fantasmo gets into the ring, hits Drake up beside the head, hits his...
I'm going with the Phantom Driver, which is another Michinoku driver.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, and this is just me throwing it out here now, I think those dudes work for Phantasmo.
You know what I thought of when I was watching this? Remember Silverado?
Yes.
Okay, in Silverado, these guys steal the gold, and Danny Glover, Scott Glenn, Kevin Kline have to come up with a way to get the gold back. Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
And so, but there's only 4 of them, and you have this whole hideout that they have to go invade. So they hide around, and Scott Glenn runs into the middle of the hideout and is like, "Man, watch out! That posse's on its way!" And while he's going to do that, eventually he's going to slide over there and let the horses free, which is going to allow him to tie Kevin Kline to tie the gold to, or the money to, a horse, and then they can run out of there with it. And eventually they cut to the guy who leads the guys. He goes, "You brought a posse down on my hideout?" And the dude's like, "Yeah." He's like, hideout, and boom, boom, boom. They go, "This guy must be brave, blah, blah, blah." And eventually he goes, "I think there's maybe 2 or 3 guys up there, and this asshole's one of them."
Yes.
And that is what's going on here. Phantasmo is one of them dudes.
Yes. Did you see his Punisher overmask that he came out wearing? How cool was that? I wish he'd worn. I wish he'd worn that the whole match. Actually, I love that mask. That's one of the coolest masks I've ever seen.
I love the term overmask. It's like Overlord.
Yes,
but better. Yeah. Okay. And so anyway, but then the key to the whole tournament, you have a great tournament. You set up the match we saw earlier in the night between Swerve,
Tony Nese.
You set up Drake. Mm-hmm. He had been in the real world. He'd supposedly been cut,
and I think he was
from the job. The Triple H said in an interview later that he was, and that he had done so well, and there had been such a public groundswell for him that eventually they decided we got to keep him. Mm-hmm. Supposedly they kept that a secret until after the match, and then once he lost, Hunter goes and hands him
the contract,
and he starts crying, and it's a good little moment they had right there, and it worked. Whether it was baloney or not, it worked.
It worked,
and it made for a great subplot throughout the tournament. And then you had the hilarious, as I'm looking on Twitter through that timeline, it's, "Oh my God, I can't believe they didn't let Drake win. This sucks. I can't believe poor Drake's having to leave now." And then it was, "I'm sorry, Triple H. I'm sorry, Triple H. I'm sorry, Triple H."
Oh, you know what we forgot to mention?
What?
One of the best spots in the whole show.
What's that?
When they interviewed Dexter Lumis.
Oh my God, and he's an artist.
Dude, and he drew a picture of him kidnapping the Undisputed Era in a pickup truck, or himself turned into a pickup truck that was kidnapping. Right. And then he was out there in the crowd when they were fighting. Mm-hmm. That dude is so money to me for some reason. I love him.
Right. Now, going to the pay-per-view, we're going to have a championship match between Velveteen Dream and Cole, and it's going to be in a parking lot of some kind.
Yes.
probably going to be shot cinematically. I'm looking forward to it, and I kind of feel like when you say parking lot fight and one guy's got a faction and the other guy doesn't, it feels very much like Dream doesn't have a chance. Which is why I think he probably wins.
Yes.
Then you have what I think is going to wind up being the match of the year. Charlotte Flair, Io Shirai.
Oh, and Ripley? Yeah,
and
that
Ripley.
could be. And who do you think's going to go over?
Io.
I hope so.
I think Io's going to go over because I think Ripley and Charlotte are going to eventually take one another out, and Rhea's going to wind up having.
That's what I was booking in my head, was that those two got something to square off against without the belt being in the middle. Io can go have a title defense while they do another.
Dude, think about it this way: if Charlotte were to hit a natural selection, and her momentum take her out of the ring, and Io hit that moonsault,
so right at the mic,
right on top of her.
I think Ripley takes the pin. Io.
Then you take Ripley and Io into the future.
Yes.
And Charlotte goes back to Raw to wrestle for that title. Immediately, probably she just immediately gets the title.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
That's how it works. She's Charlotte Flair.
Well, and the other thing is, too, after Backlash, we know that Asuka's going to be suffering from some form of a concussion orbital bone injury.
Yes.
Which will cause for an open challenge for the title.
Yeah, because the belt's going to be free and clear.
Yes. Dark Side of the Ring,
Part
episode
2.
3. Diva's Talent.
Diva's Talent.
Okay. All right, so I'm fired up.
She's going to be known as the Samoan Shovel from now on.
Yes. Are you fired up about...
Yes! Backlash.
In your house?
Oh, my God. Or in your house, yeah. That again, I predict at least 3 or 4 matches on that card will be better than the greatest wrestling match in the world.
Of all
time.
There's no chance that that's better than Shirai. Edge and Orton cannot be better than Shirai and Rhea. And
Karrion Kross and Tommaso Ciampa.
It's going to be so much better.
It's going to be great.
So much better. Okay. All right. SmackDown's coming up next. SmackDown. Are you ready? Because we are in promo school. Jeff Hardy steps to the ring, mic in hand.
And it's just like anything you would see on WWE 2K, whatever edition. It's a generic promo.
Yes, okay, so the crux of it wasn't great. The crux of it was I got hit upside the head, and
somebody covered me in boobs.
It wasn't his fault.
Yes,
that was the crux of it. But inside of there was the fact that the police put the handcuffs on so tightly that it was ripping at his flesh. And that although he had been hit with an anvil in the head, Jeff was miraculously able to pass
all the sobriety tests. The only one I would believe he could put, is a blood test with Jeff Hardy. I would not. I'd want some scientific evidence.
Or Jeff Hardy has jumped off a lot of things.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot. He's been in scenarios where he may be disoriented.
That's what I'm saying.
Often,
yes,
he may be good at sobriety.
That's what I'm taking. That's what I'm taking away from this.
I would think that you wouldn't even try a sobriety test.
No, I'd just take some
practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect in life. That's true. And so anyway, then the eyewitness accounts are that a red-bearded gentleman attacked him, and through process of elimination, we realized it wasn't Beaker from the Muppets.
It wasn't Rowan because he got fired.
Yes, so it must be
Sheamus.
Sheamus comes out and says absolutely not. And the kicker here, Sheamus does do well in this promo.
He's so much better than Jeff Hardy.
The kicker here is
the kick to the head.
No, that was. But as far as disappointing your family, don't worry about it, Jeff.
You've done it.
They're used to it.
They're used to it by now.
And that set Jeff afire, and that's when we get the fisticuffs. A bro kick upside the head. Eventually, he starts slamming him
pinballing him off the plexiglass, which I love.
Wonderful.
The plexiglass.
If you're going to have plexiglass, use it.
Yeah, I did.
And that was wonderful. And so then we wind up, we're going to get a match between these guys at the pay-per-view, and that's great. And then we get the moment of the evening when Otis, backstage, sees King Corbin's crown and refers to it as pointy. And then asks if he should wear it, and he does. And he looks much better in the crown than Corbin ever did.
He really does, and that's sad. I'm sorry to say it, Baron, but the man looks like Henry VIII already, so he's already looks like royalty. So.
And then he cautions Mandy to be careful because it's pointy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fool.
Yeah, dude. He does remind me of the royal family after years and years of inbreeding.
And Corbin goes straight 8-year-old and just starts
Where's my
screaming,
crown?
"Where's my crown? Where's my crown?" And
I saw that little kid at the Burger King
Right.
when I was a kid, when they had the birthday parties and they would have the little crowns
Right.
and his crown got stolen.
But then they go to the ring and have a great match. And Corbin is strong enough to throw a man the size of Otis around.
Yes.
Otis can manhandle people without even using his fingers. It's so weird to see somebody just scoop somebody without grabbing them and throw them with his
Yes.
elbows and wrists.
Uh-huh.
But he's just so big and strong, none of that matters.
Uh-huh. No,
we
his core
mentioned
strength
that,
is
like,
freakish.
Obviously, Otis has a large belly, and Corbin was hitting him hard enough with fists that you could see the red fist imprints after he pulled away. It was so strange to see somebody kind of laying punches in like that.
Yeah.
But I guess Otis is cool with it. I mean, he's not going to hurt him, you know?
No. I mean, that when he threw him to the back and stuff, yeah, he had a chance to hurt him, but he didn't sink him. But when you throw him to the stomach of that dude, Mike Tyson might hurt him. Not many other people will.
Right. And so Corbin heads to higher ground as he starts to lose. He grabs a chair, gets disqualified, and then Otis winds up, even though all of that, Otis winds up still coming out on top, which is fine. And so we're setting up some form of a feud here, which is all right with me. Then we move on to... They're super spying on Braun Strowman now.
Yes.
They have rented a very creepy white van.
Yes.
They have sound equipment, and they have decided to make Braun's life
a living hell.
A living Hades.
Hades.
And Morrison is gold in these segments. I don't. It wasn't great. Could have been better, but it was funny. I got a kick out of the whole night. And we wind up at first. He gets his protein shake on him.
Well, they put like CO2 in his protein shake or something. I don't know.
It exploded on him. Right. Okay, and so they're getting a good time out of it. Oh, Miz warns us that it will be childish, to which point John, who is a wonderful, he just knows his history, and he says, wise men once said, this is Friday night. This is how we do it. Referring to the philosopher Montel Jordan.
Yes.
And thank you for that.
Profound.
Yes. All right, Shorty G is getting in here, and when we're talking childish, we're bringing in...
Child size.
I was going to say Mojo Rawley is a childish man. But, okay, short jokes, might as well keep going with them.
Why not?
Well, here's my problem.
Mojo, mine was better than anything Mojo came up with.
Here's my problem, though. In Shorty G's name...
He's short.
So how much are you offending him by calling him...
You're not.
...short at all? So anyway, this turns into we're going to fight a 6-man fight between Shinsuke and Corbin. Eventually jump Shorty G when he's not paying attention. And so they're going to fight with Mojo, and New Day break it up, which means we get Shorty G. Sonya versus Lacey Evans 2. And we get a good little match here. Weird thing happens in it. The referee winds up hyperextending his knee or something.
Oh, yeah. He had a
and
rolling...
nobody saw it coming.
No.
Actually, if you listen to it, Sonya blurts out, is this some kind of joke?
Yeah.
That the referee is... And it winds up, he's probably really hurt.
Yeah, I think he ate... When they rolled into the ring, she kind of came over rolling, and her leg was out, and it kind of hit him like a rolling axe kick to the leg.
Yeah. And he wasn't ready for that.
No, it just caught him slipping.
Yeah. So we wind up with a different referee, and we get a great little match.
Man, she's so vicious right now. She's got so...
They're both so good.
She did some...
I called it the neck breaker.
Yeah.
She does a move where she's outside of the ring, and I don't know how to...
It's like a revert. She's like got her almost like Randy would do somebody hanging them, except she's got her off the ring apron, and then she's got them face up, and then she drops them down across her knee. It looked vicious.
Like how Randy does with the backbreaker, and then...
Kind of
across the knee.
And then across the knee.
Yeah.
Almost like Goto's...
Yeah, Orochi Goroshi, but it just applied from a weird position.
Dude,
I was going to
the wrestlers in the background went like...
Yeah. Well, they freaked out, dude, because it looked so vicious.
Yeah.
And then she stomped on her head walking into the ring.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's a lot of back and forth. This is really well done. These two girls, we were talking about how if you include the 4 girls in the main event and these 2, now you're 6 deep in really good wrestlers on the show. Speaking of which, Mandy interrupts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's on the roll, too.
And she says something or another to distract her, and Sonya gets distracted.
Eats the women's right.
Says something about, come get some Blondie, spins into a right cross.
Blam!
Knocked out. 1, 2, 3. Well done. And it looks like Sonya has found herself in the middle of 2 rivalries, not 1.
If Mandy Rose doesn't hand behind Otis, she's in some trouble.
Well, this is good, though. This is good.
Yes.
I want Sonya in as much as we can get her in. If this means we're going to get her in 2 things, that's fine. I'm okay with it. Okay, Braun Strowman now is getting interviewed, and he said these guys are childish, to which...
They drop slime on... Try to drop it on his head, but they drop it on Charlie.
In the best Tom and Jerry they could.
Yes.
And so Kayla calls them a bad name because she is mad, and because she put her head on Braun's shoulder, or belly, because she's not tall enough to put her head on the shoulder, she gets some slime on him, to which...
They reply, that's a win.
That's a win because he did get some slime.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, Daniel Bryan's AJ Styles promo off against each other with... This was weird. Not weird. Interesting in that they went a little... They implied political differences.
Yeah. We've argued about a bunch in the back before.
Right. Daniel is a very liberal person in all that entails. AJ is the opposite. He's a very conservative person. They do... one guy references giving opportunity. The other guy references giving handouts, which, again, is something that you'll see those 2 fields kind of do. AJ mentions reaching across the aisle.
Yeah, dude, it was very well done.
Yeah, right. And so that was done, and he's going to give Gulak a chance who he doesn't believe deserves to be in the company, because why is that guy even here? How can he be your coach? All that. Daniel gives which is why I think we all hope, which is the purpose of being a babyface and doing promos, that he gets this belt because he wants to defend it every night.
Yes, like TV championship.
And he wants
every time the show's on, he's going to defend the belt.
And he wants to put out bangers every Friday night. He wants you to know that 20 minutes of every Friday night is going to be the best wrestling you can see.
I like it.
And AJ does not.
Doesn't care.
AJ wants you to have to earn your title shots at him, like a world heavyweight champion always does. Right? And so... This is well done.
Ends up bringing Gulak. AJ ends up saying, I'll give your boy here an opportunity.
They have a great match.
God, they had a great little match.
And the finish is amazing. I don't know exactly what Gulak did.
He did a roll through.
AJ's going for the Styles Clash. He turns it into grabbing the legs, flips him over, and you said a roll through.
It's almost a bridge. Kind of, he had the arms and the legs pinned at the same time. It was slick. I'd have to go watch it again to describe it.
Right, and so AJ's befuddled, upset.
Yeah, it wasn't like he hit him with a finisher and pinned him. Really, like that. It was I caught you slipping because you underestimated.
We've got one more Friday night before Smackdown. If this had happened next week, I would have thought AJ's going to probably go over next week. But because this happened this week, I think Gulak gets the whooping.
Take the whooping next week.
Yes, and then that turns.
Come get your whooping.
Daniel, right, later on. Well done. Well done. This was very good. So far, we've had some very good wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and so then we go to, speaking of which, we go to the New Day and Shorty G versus Cesaro, Shinsuke, and Mojo.
This whole match was so well done.
So well done. And for a guy that's not normally in, for Mojo was a big part of this match,
Yeah,
too.
he was.
And in spite of that, it was very good.
Well, Mojo, I think Mojo's always struck me as a guy that needs a good dance partner.
Yes.
But he cannot carry a match.
Not yet.
But if you put him in there with somebody.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But again, what might have helped is he's in the ring with Shinsuke, Cesaro, and Chad Gable.
Yeah, right. He was wrestling, and he was wrestling Kofi Kingston too, right. and Big E is a great big man.
He is. Earlier this week, when they were asking Daniel about guys he wanted to work with, he straight out said, "I feel like I don't understand why Big E isn't something else in this company." He said, every time I get in the ring with him, I think to myself, why isn't this guy in the championship picture?
It doesn't make any sense.
He's big, he's strong, he's athletic. It just doesn't. And this was fantastic. And then the last segment there where Shorty G kind of gets out of something and you get the combo finish from the New Day, but then Shorty does a roll, jumps over the top rope, lands on Cesaro and Shinsuke, and they're going to hurt him, but he slips over the top, and they're crawling into the ring to stop.
He grabs
the 3
both their
count.
legs.
Everything was done perfectly and in-camera shot.
And nobody was out of position.
No.
Everything was timed to the right moment.
Right. Everything. You could see, he slips over the top. He grabs the legs. 1, 2, 3.
Boom. It was no herky-jerky. There was no
so good.
dead air in it.
Absolutely. Miz and Morrison bust out the windows of Braun.
Which is not really a prank as much as it is like a law breaking.
If your children out there, don't do this.
No, that's not a way to get over in life.
But because when all this started and you saw the white van, we knew at some point Braun was going to flip that van.
Well, that's what he does. He flips vans. He flips vehicles.
He flips cars and runs.
Which tells me that at some point they are going to do well with him, because remember they had Mark Henry flipping cars for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark was about ready to retire, does the retirement promo on Cena, and goes on the greatest run and becomes one of the great heels.
Yes,
and
loved him.
The Hall of Pain.
Wish they'd kept it going for a little longer than they
or
did.
figured it out earlier.
Yeah,
he's
such.
But luckily, here Braun's very young in his career.
Yes,
and he's already flipping vehicles. So
yes. I don't know if he's got the Mark Henry thing though.
I don't think he's got that meanness in him.
Hey,
I don't think he's
not that Mark's mean.
No,
but he can go there.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Braun's not Mark Henry.
He is not Mark Henry.
He is not. No. He is. No.
He's not yet.
No.
Although I will say, when he was screaming, "I'm going to kill you guys" into that TV set, that's scary.
Yeah, dude. In real life, the man is terrifying.
Right.
If you look through your peephole in your window door, and you see that dude outside your window or door,
he's looking right into his belly button.
Yeah, dude. Or he's leaned over and he stands up, dude. That door's not good. Ain't no door
Main
stopping
event
him.
of the evening: Alexa Bliss, Nikki, Bayley, Sasha. Fantastic.
It was a great match.
This was a great match with a very smooth finish.
Again, a way of both telling the story of the eventual breakup of Sasha and Bayley, and them winning a belt at the same time. Because you had the Bayley blind tagged herself in, and Sasha didn't even know it. Right. And then she comes in there and pulls Sasha off of her, and then screws it up, and Sasha had to come in to save it.
Kicks at Sasha to get out of the ring.
Yes.
And she needed Sasha to get out of the ring because the count was going on, and that had to happen. But Sasha doesn't know what's going on, one. And two, it felt resentful, but then when it was time to help her, she went in and helped her. And then, like you said, you wind up getting the win. Okay, and the best thing of all this, they become Bayley 2 belts, whatever. When this is all over, and again, I want to say this real quickly. Fantastic week of pro wrestling in this company. When this is all over, they go backstage and they're supposed to do a photo op. And Sasha says, "Do you want me to lay on the ground and cry with these?" Because if you remember what Ryan Satin said happened, and they denied that it ever really happened like that. He said, "I have multiple sources that say Bayley and Sasha threw a hissy fit when they lost their belts after Mania. Or to the Iconics, whatever that was, right? Go ahead.
Can I also say the spot where Bayley was holding her belts to the floor and going, "Oh God, so heavy, I have so much gold."
Right. It's boss time.
Boss time.
Boss time.
Boss time.
Boss time.
Boss time.
I love it when people remember things that they thought were baloney and they call it out at an opportune moment.
You think that this is eventually gonna? It's already kind of at the Inhuman stage. Do you think it's ever gonna come back around and be funny?
What's Inhuman?
It's boss time. It's very robotic.
What did you say?
Are you disparaging Michael Cole's ability to call a match?
Wait. Now you saying that boss time is Inhuman?
No, I'm saying that Michael Cole.
I thoroughly enjoy watching Sasha Banks wrestle.
Yeah, why do you hate on Sasha so much?
So what are you saying? What I'm trying to figure out. You don't like the phrase "it's boss time"?
I do not like. I don't think I like the phrase "it's boss time."
But it is boss time when she comes out. I mean, it's literally boss time. She's the boss when she comes out. It's time for the boss.
This may be my hot take, but I don't too much like. I don't too much like the term. It's boss time.
It's like vintage Michael Cole.
Yes.
Vintage.
Oh no.
All right, guys. What a great week. Thank you so
As
much.
Michael Cole refers to it now, classic.
Classic.
Right,
Michael Cole.
because even Michael Cole can't keep a gimmick too long.
No.
32 years was too long for it. I'll be honest with you. If we're watching Randy Orton and Edge, and who's that guy? Tom Phillips.
Yes.
He needs to break out a vintage Randy Orton.
Yes. Vintage Randy Orton.
Just to remind, and Joe needs to go. That was to remind you of who you are, Michael Cole. Go out there and get your song back.
Yes. Get your smile back, Michael Cole.
Reportedly, Live Aid, CCR is about to go out on stage, and Clapton tells they're going to do took a job in the river working for the man every night.
They're gonna
Clapton looks at him and says, "Go get your song back."
Unfortunately, they ran up against Tina Turner. And I love CCR. We'll
Right.
give music another
But that's
time.
what Clapton was saying.
Yeah,
Go get your song back, man. Go get your
Yeah.
song back. You can do it. All right. So anyway, it was great. For Go Home Heat, for Justin, for Ray, for me, this has been a Go Home Heat Protection, copyright 2020. Go home.
Woo!
I love CC.
CCR, John Fogerty, man. Come on, dude. When you hear a CCR